Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice Chancellor of New York University, Abu Dhabi, Mariët Westermann.
Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, President Hamilton, Board Chairman Berkeley, distinguished guests, teachers, families and friends of the class of 2021, but above all, beloved members of the class of 2021, congratulations, Alf Mabruk, you did it, you did it. This is a great day because we recognize that you traveled the length of an NYU Abu Dhabi education, one of the most demanding, most creative, most exacting undergraduate curricula on the planet. An incredibly stimulating and sometimes confounding education. And thanks to those challenging character of the education, it is one that is uncommonly generative of new thought, new knowledge, new understanding of yourselves and of others, new visions for our community and for the world. An education that fosters empathy and the desire and skills to change what is not right in the world. The skills also to shine a bright light on what is good, what is beautiful, what is courageous in the world. So much of it you represent. And NYU Abu Dhabi provides that kind of education in the framework of a global research university, New York University, on which the sun never sets, and that is grounded in the dynamic crossroads that is Abu Dhabi. And this is why the metaphor of traveling through your education is so fundamental to our university. In the fall of 2017, most of you journeyed to Saadiyat from other countries, many other countries, having taken the bold decision to study far away from home. Those of you from the UAE, and there are also many of you, also had to bridge a distance, as you chose a form of residential and liberal education that was alluring, but probably unfamiliar and new. All of you chose to travel here from near and far to learn with students and teachers who would mostly be very different from you. And that experience has knitted all of you into our NYU Abu Dhabi fabric of scholars who come here in search of a learning community dedicated to what universities are really for: the advancement of human potential and of creative, prosperous, and more fair societies where all can flourish and belong. That is NYU Abu Dhabi's mission. You know that we talk a lot about travel at NYU Abu Dhabi. We love to talk about it. And sometimes it can sound a little bit like racking up a list of cool destinations that you got to. But travel at NYUAD is much more than tourist delight, although tourist delight is good. But it's more than that. In your first 2.5 years at NYUAD, whenever you studied away or went on a regional seminar with faculty, you were immersed in community-based learning. On your travels abroad and throughout the UAE, you met world leaders as well as unsung heroes and community leaders in many fields: in environmental sustainability, public health, social justice, education, also in cultural enterprise or economic empowerment, diplomacy. You learned how to invite others into the conversation, often hard conversations, regardless of language or status. And you brought your learning into the lives of others. You engineered for social good. You taught disadvantaged children. You brightened communities with your art. Your curiosity and your drive to learn across borders is what attracted you to NYUAD. And it is a great sadness to be sure that your physical travels were brought to a grinding halt halfway through your junior year. You couldn't continue to study abroad. For a brief period, you couldn't even go to the Mina for a cup of karak. The pandemic has badly affected millions of students like you around the world. And for many countries, I'm afraid the worst is yet to come. For NYU Abu Dhabi, the darkest days may well be behind us, thanks to the incredible resilience and care and commitment of our community. You, our great class of 2021, felt some of the hardest impacts of the pandemic, but you powered through and you made this day possible. And I want you to know that we, your teachers and the administrators of this institution, recognize your losses and cherish your courage. And we are grateful that you saw your way here. Let's not end on that note. Let's honor your journeys. The great travelers of history, when you think about it, from Odysseus to Ibn Battuta, have always known that travel is about what happens to you along the way, what you learn along the way, as much as it is about reaching your destination that you set out for. You did not let the pandemic stop you on your path of learning and inquiry. You did not let it stop you from reaching this milestone, this temporary destination that is your commencement. You got here. And that is an extraordinary achievement. We, your faculty, and I believe also your families and loved ones, continued to see you grow this past year and a half. We saw you tackle new challenges, uninvited challenges, and you took them as opportunities to help and support your peers and your loved ones wherever they were. We saw you put up with all the necessary rules. Thank you. And we saw you get vaccinated at extraordinarily high rates that made this ceremony today possible in this form. You did all that, not just for yourselves. You did it for our NYUAD, for your loved ones, and in solidarity with the tireless efforts of this country to combat the pandemic. Now, I know personally that you continued your journey because I have spent many hours the past couple of weeks with your capstone projects, and it's been a joy. Capstones are always hard, we know that, because you are in the driver's seat all of a sudden of defining your problem, choosing your methods, persuading your collaborators, creating a product that you are proud to present and defend. You have to rally all the powers of critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and independent judgment that you learned on the way to senior year. So a capstone is daunting under the best of circumstances, and the obstacles you faced this year often seemed insurmountable, especially if you needed access to labs, studios, and fieldwork. But also for most of you, if research from your room just didn't feel like, well, capstone research. But it was. You pulled off extraordinary capstone projects. It was astonishing and moving to hear the reflections that you shared on your own processes, how you dealt with hard things, with disappointments, with burnout or sudden changes and the need to adapt. And so many of you spoke about the transformative effect that the work of your peers had on you. It was wonderful to hear that generosity. Class of 2021, the way you conducted your senior year gives all of us at NYUAD tremendous confidence that you have the disposition, the empathy, and the skills that we expected you to have at graduation. You have them in spades. You will do great things, and you will help many people near and far along the way. Normally, commencement is talked about as the moment a university sends its graduates into the world. It is an odd expression, really, when you think about it. And especially this year, when you dealt with some of the toughest, most searing challenges in the world en route to your graduation. So I want to end with the words of Zora Neale Hurston, who was a pioneering anthropologist of the African American experience about a century ago. In her great novel, Their eyes were watching God. We meet Janie Crawford, a black teenager who has almost no education at all, but a burning desire to know something of the world. Janie leaves her constrained home in Florida in search of a different life. Her travels are very local and very unglamorous, and she does not have an easy time of it. But you can hear her gain insights as she relates her thoughts along the way and takes hold of her self-worth as a woman. When she's forced to return home, she has no regrets. She left, she says, because you've got to go there to know there. Class of 2021, you went there and you know there. You are ready to continue your journeys. So safe travels, stay in touch, and come home often. Congratulations.